What up, folks? This is your boy, Big Rich, you know what I'm saying? D-Dot's producer called a video tutorial number 10. We back up in this again, you know what I'm saying? Say it with your chest, just like Kevin Hart said, you know what I'm saying? And pretty much what this tutorial today is about is adding harmonics to your kicks and your bass drum sounds. Yeah, sub-harmonics, harmonics. Add those, enhance your kicks and your bass drum sounds. Yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about today. Not EQ, not a compress. I'm gonna show y'all some production tools, tips, some little cool techniques. Before we get up in that door, you know what I'm saying, I wanna give a shout out, you know what I'm saying, to the Icebreaker Radio team, you know what I'm saying? Big salutes to y'all, everybody that got a show, anybody that's affiliated with that's affiliated with Icebreaker Radio. Big salutes to you. Give a special shout out to the co-host of D-Dot's Producer Corner, D-Dot himself, the co-host Trey, multi-platinum producer, co-host Mr. Lee, and myself, Big Rich. Big salutes and stuff like that. Give a shout out to my production team, Joint Chief of Staffs Productions. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can check us out www.jointchiefofstaffs.jcsproductions.com. And you can also check out Icebreaker Radio streaming music 24/7 live, you know what I'm saying, at www.icebreakerradio.com. Enough of the call signs. Let's get up in this tutorial right quick right here, right now. All right. So pretty much, again, what we're doing is we're going to be talking about how to enhance bass frequencies in your kicks and your bass drums without actually having to use EQ. You still want to use EQ, okay? And trying to make an understanding when you use compression. Now, I'm going to break off right quick, and I'm going to explain to you why, when, or when not to use compression. Now, if you was recording metal, if you was recording pop, rock, you know what I'm saying, anything that has to use an actual drum kit that has different dynamics in it. What I mean by different dynamics is, you know, you're hitting on the kick drum. Boom, 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 boom. That's different dynamics, which you take that and you put it in a MIDI environment, you know what I'm saying? That's called different velocities. Now, the thing that you got to understand is when you use stuff like Reason, Fruity Loops, Ableton Live, and anything else under the sun, Logic, you know what I'm saying, and so forth and so on, what you're doing is when you put drum samples in a drum machine, that is a drum sample. Sample, okay, folks, is one shot. And all you're doing is triggering that one shot 150 times or more, you know what I'm saying? So all you're doing is triggering. Bam, 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 bam. Did my voice change? No. That's why it's a triggered sample. You get it? Drum machine, trigger, pad, one drum sample, trigger sound, bam, 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 bam. You get the concept now? Okay then. Well, the reason why I say you shouldn't compress first or you shouldn't compress at all is because that's the same sound hitting at 150 plus times. Okay, why compress? Why? Okay, cool. Probably 75% of the time that drum sample is probably already compressed. If it's not already compressed, you use very minimal compression. And what I mean by very minimal compression is to just chop off that part of the sample that just keep peaking. And all you're gonna do is use that compression to chop it off and add a little bit, just a little bit meat. And what I mean by that is using a ratio at 2 to 1. Real talk, you know what I'm saying? Short attack time, short release time, a little easy on the threshold. That's enough about that, because I ain't gonna give y'all them goodies, you know what I'm saying? That's another tutorial already. So what you want to do to add and make your kick drum samples sound a little full, say it with your chest. Say it with your chest type sound is to do EQ and harmonic enhancement. Now, the whole purpose of kicks is to add the weight to the particular mix and keep the beat driving. And a lot of times, a lot of kicks, they have this cardboardish or this fist type sound to it, like, you know what I'm saying? Or it sounds like cardboard. You know, you ever hit a box and, you know what I'm saying, you trying to make that beat on a cardboard box and it just ain't got that low end to it? Well, yeah, you know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, somebody then compressed the hell out of that goddamn drum sample first, and then they kind of try to make it up with EQ. Nah, all you doing is increasing the badness. Real talk, you know what I'm saying? So let's get up in this tutorial and let me quit yapping and going on a rant and shit like that, because I'm known for doing that. All right, folks, you know what I'm saying? Pretty much what we're doing is we're going to be working with a kick, all right? pretty much this is the kick right here. Okay, this is the kick. I'm gonna play the sample and I'm gonna shut the hell up. Now, this particular track is not mixed. Therefore, you know what I'm saying, everything is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? My sub bass is real too loud, to be honest with you. But our focus is the kick. Now, I'm going to mute the sub and listen to the kick again. Now, as you notice, that kick sounds real weak, even with the sub muted. That kick sound so weak with the sub muted. Okay, folks, that's what your mind needs to be thinking when you're mixing, okay? Now, in your mind, you're probably thinking compress, compress, compress. In my mind, I'm thinking EQ, 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 that trouble spot, that frequency that I don't hear. All right, now to find that frequency for that kick, what you want to use is a spectrum frequency analysis tool or a spectrum analyzer tool. Whatever the case, that'll show you from 20 hertz to 20K hertz. It'll show you the frequency. All right, so we're working in Ableton Live, so we're going to use the Spectrum plugin they have on Ableton Live. Now, I'm going to shut the hell up. I'm going to play the mix again, and then I'm going to solo the kick, and we're going to find where that particular frequency we want to enhance, okay? All right, let's get it. All right, now let's solo our kick. All right, so our frequency was around 56 hertz, okay? And as you're seeing with my mouse, I was circling around, and you can still see the frequency chart where the peak, where the frequency is held at. You can see it's around 56 to 58 hertz, around that area. So that's where the kick energy is. Therefore, we want to enhance that area of the frequencies for that particular kick. Now, you probably think EQ. EQ is a very good tool and a good way to think, okay? But an EQ is only going to focus on the frequency and not the harmonics. The good thing about the harmonics is harmonics adds frequencies, or it adds harmonics to emphasize frequencies, should I say. Harmonics adds emphasis on frequencies the human ear doesn't hear, and it just brings it out. So again, harmonics' job is to add emphasis on frequencies that your ear does not hear. You understand what I'm saying? Cool. All right. So what you would want to do is use a harmonic enhancement tool. Okay. Now on our particular kick, I'm going to show and demonstrate two plugins I personally use on all my tracks, and that is the Max Bass made by Waves plugins, and also the H82 Harmonic Maximizer made by BBE Sound. Okay, and this is what these two plugins look like. Alrighty. Now, just to give a little emphasis on what these tools do. Now, the H82, pretty much, it focuses on the low and the high end, something like the Aural Exciter, okay? The Aural Exciter is pretty much known for that big bottom type deal, you know what I'm saying? And that's what pretty much the H82 does. It focuses on the low end. It gives you that big bottom, say it with your chest type bottom, you know what I'm saying? And the high end is pretty much to add the sizzle, to add that clarity, you know, just to brighten up everything on the high end. So this is a good tool that you probably will want to use. It's kind of like a Aural Exciter. You understand what I'm saying? Now, the Waves Max Bass is pretty strictly for the bass, nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And the way this tool works is it focuses on the dynamics and the harmonics, but they do a little something with their harmonics. It focuses on the harmonics, and then it has a high-pass filter on the particular plugin to roll off all those other high frequencies and just focus on the bass. So I'm going to show you and demonstrate how to use that plugin, but first we're going to start off with that BBE H82. You heard me? All right, cool. Now, the first thing we want to do is play the kick again in the mix and to hear what we need to do and how we need to do it. All right, now remember we found the frequency for the kick. It's around that 56 to 58 range. So what I'm gonna do is, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna go ahead and set the H82 around the, I'm gonna say the 57 range. Okay, and while we have that kick playing in the mix, I'm just gonna turn the low mix knob up. And what we're doing is we're adding harmonics in that 57.6 hertz range. All we're doing is adding harmonics until we hear a difference in the ear. We're gonna bypass, unbypass, so we can hear the difference. All right, y'all ready? Everybody ready? Let's get it, baby. All right, let's go. All right. Now remember, I have the sub muted, okay? We have the sub muted. Let's get it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm doing this tutorial and the thing is bypassed. I apologize, people. I've turned it up all the way to 5 and I ain't hearing it. I'm like, what the hell going on, dog? My apologies, people. I'm sorry. Let's get it in one more time. One more time. Now you notice I turned it up at 4.5. Obviously, that's too loud. Bring it back down to 0 and adjust by taste. All right. We're gonna solo the kick and we're gonna bypass it and you're gonna hear the difference. Unbypass, real weak. Now we're gonna unbypass it. Say it with your chest. You hear that chest pounding? The whole purpose of a kick in hip-hop music especially is to feel it in the chest area. All up here, you know what I'm saying? Say it with your chest one more time. All right? So we're going to bring it back in the mix. Let's get it, baby. Now what we're going to do, we're going to unbypass it. It's like the kick just disappeared. Let's bring it back in. Oh, you heard it, right? All right. That's what I'm saying. You heard the difference in the kicks. You know what I'm saying? When I unbypass it, it's like, where the kick went? Where it at? Where it went? And then when I unbypassed and brought it back in, the harmonics back in, you can hear that kick. It just sits comfortably. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like that dude in the back of the club chilling by the speakers with a cup in his hand. You know what I'm saying? He just like that. He just dancing around. That's what that kick is doing because it's got the foundation. You can feel it. You understand what I'm saying? So what we're going to do is we're going to just go ahead, get rid of the BBE for right now, and we're going to bring back the max bass from Waves. Okay? Now the whole purpose again for this particular plugin is focusing on the bass, period. All right? Now what we do, this is your frequency slider. And kind of picture, you know what I'm saying, it's moving and it looks like you got a high pass filter on it, right? Well, the purpose of this frequency fader is to find the key in on the frequency that you're focusing on. So right now, the frequency we were focused on was like 57, right? All right, so right there. All right, now the 1-to-1 ratio, you ain't really gonna hear the effects and the difference. But I always set this at about 2-to-1, and I'll play with the response of the dynamics. So I'm just gonna put that back on the default of 20 for the response. Now the high pass filter is pretty much what I mean by that is the high pass function on this particular plugin is to roll off all the high frequencies that we don't want to use, okay? And it gives you different slopes per octave to use. So a good one, it will be 12 dB per octave slope. And the decay is pretty much how fast the release of the slope that you want to use. It's pretty much the decay is released. So that could be adjustable. That's all gravy, by ear, by taste. And input, of course, is the input of the input signal, which is the kick. The original bass is the original bass for the kick. And then the max bass is the added harmonics we're going to add to the kick. Let's get it in, all right? So we're going to go in bypass mode. Bypass mode, and we're going to check out the kick raw. Let's go. Nothing, right? It's just the beat, you know what I'm saying? Now, let's unbypass it, and let's just add the max bass. Now, I want to bring up something real interesting. When I make the decay time like -24, make the decay real short, you know what I'm saying, -24, you notice you lose a lot of those harmonic frequencies. You don't really hear it. But when you increase it all the way up to -9, you're actually adding in harmonics to that particular sound. So those harmonics might be stretching all the way to 8,000 hertz. You know what I'm saying? The whole function of the max bass is to increase those harmonics that the ear does not hear. Therefore, it will make that kick drum sound so much fuller. You know what I'm saying? So let's again play. All right, now let's bypass, and we're gonna do the unbypass test. Unbypass, just a regular old kick. It's just doing its thing. Now let's put the plug-in in effect. Let's bypass. It just disappear, right? Now let's bypass. Yeah, so you understand the concept of everything, and I really didn't I didn't really kind of like, you know, fine tune what I was doing and stuff like that. So, you know, that's pretty much what it is. Don't y'all be laughing at my dance too. But that's pretty much what it is, you know what I'm saying? It's all about adding those missing harmonics in a particular sound and just increasing it, enhancing that particular, you know, those particular harmonics. And, you know what I'm saying, just making that bass drum sound more full, give it more definition, more foundation, more weight. Say it with your chest, you know what I'm saying, type of sound, you feel me? And the reason why this plugin was clipping, of course, our signal coming into this particular plugin was obviously too loud. So if you want to fix that on this particular plugin, you just adjust the input. You don't hear anything right there. All right, cool, bring it down. Bam, there you go right there. You ain't clipping. So you just adjust the inputs for it not to clip. So, man, that includes the tutorial. And I ain't even doing any EQ. So you already know when you start EQing that kick drum and you get your levels right and everything ain't peaking, shit. That kick gonna be sitting nice in the mix, you feel me? So, man, look, this has been your boy, Big Rich, with D-Dot's Producer's Corner, video tutorial number 10, enhancing your kicks with sub-harmonics, you feel me? Or should I say added harmonics. Holla at your boy, you know what I'm saying? Y'all stay tuned and watch out for the next video tutorial. Salutes to you. Holla at your boy. Yeah.